Hi, I'm Nick Shell. Let's talk about hair loss? Okay, yeah, let's do that. You should care what people think about you. Let me say that in all caps. You should care what people think about you. But here's the problem. There's actually two ways to do that, and one of them is the default, and the default is wrong, okay? So when it comes to hair loss, you're starting to see those first signs of possibly losing hair. Maybe you're starting to think, oh, I might be Norwood 1. Oh no, okay? And so you're starting to think, what will people think about me being only 18, 19, 20, 21, and they can see, so what will people think about me, And you've been told your whole life, well, you shouldn't care what people think about you. I'm here to say you should care about what people think about you. But the wrong way is when it comes to hair loss, as far as worrying about what people think about you, is that you're less of a person because you're perceiving that you've got less hair than most people. Because I'm learning, that's the assumption. Younger guys automatically assume that their hair loss is so much worse than it actually is, even if it might not even exist, but your perception of that cranks it up to 100% and cranks everybody else's down to 0%. I've already learned that. But so the wrong thing to do is to worry about what other people think based on your perceived hair loss. That's the wrong way to worry about, to care about what people think, okay? So the wrong way to care about what people think is to assume that they're judging you on hair loss. Here's the right way to care about what people think. This is why you should care about what people think, okay? Completely separate thing. You should care what people think about you as a human being apart from your hair. That's what you should care. You should totally care. You should totally care. You should totally care what people think about you. Apart from your hair, you should totally care that people think that you are a helpful human being and that you care for other people and that you're kind to other people and that you're motivated and that you're funny. You should totally care. If you're not funny, you should be worried. If I started a channel on YouTube to help guys become funny, it wouldn't be watched. No one would watch that because guys assume they're already funny enough. They don't realize how important it is to be funny. It's very important. It's very important to be helpful. It's very important to have a skill set. Those are the things that are going to craft your identity as a male. Society depends on us to be funny, to be skillful, to be helpful, to be kind. That's what they care about. And that's why so many of my subscribers don't get it yet. They're still watching those videos I did of asking younger single girls what they thought about men's hair loss, and then they naturally assume that those girls are lying. But then when the girls are telling what actually matters, you're just bagging all that, saying, oh, that doesn't matter. All they care about is hair loss. Okay? So I'm telling you, you should totally care about what people think. It totally matters. People judge you. All right? Your whole identity and reputation is based on what people think about you. But it matters, all those things I just said. The hair loss thing is only going to make it worse because you're going to focus on your perception of hair loss, which the people aren't actually judging you as a whole person on anyway. They're judging you on the other stuff. So if you let the other stuff go, you're not as valuable to society. You should totally care what people think about you. You should totally care what people think about you. But on all those things I just said, not the hair thing, you got to know how people actually value you. And I know this because I've lived it. I've lived 2 of your lifetimes. I'm 36 and a half almost. I've almost lived 2 of your lifetimes to know this. You should care what people think about you if it falls into any of those categories how I just named. But when it comes to hair loss, if you actually are even losing your hair, because you're probably just freaking out, and until you email me a picture and say, Nick, will you check me out? And then I'll predictably say, maybe I see a sign of Norwood 1, but that's normal because I was that way at 17, so there's no way of knowing when you'll lose your hair. But even then, you're missing the point. You should care what people think about you as it relates to you being funny, helpful, kind, not being judgmental, helpful, being skillful, being funny. It's all the same stuff. People want to be around people that make them feel better about themselves. That's what people want. And I've talked before about you can never win an argument with a person because even if you're right, and you prove it, then they respect you less. It's about being a liked person, a helpful person, a caring person, a funny person. Those things matter to us as males. We're being judged on those. If you neglect those, you're gonna be less valuable to society. Have I convinced you? I'm gonna keep working on it. You should care what people think about you for those things, but not the hair loss. Focus on the thing that matters, or guess what? You get left behind.